A live look at the boardwalk in Ocean City right now. As you would probably expect, no one is at the beach tonight, and rightfully so, as we make final preparations for the snow and potential sleet. Don't forget, we're going to be dealing with bitter cold temperatures for quite some time. Our First Alert team coverage continues with meteorologist Cutter Martin and Greg Padgett. Let's go to you first, Greg.
Yeah, Brian, Cutter and I are going to walk you through this whole forecast through tonight and through the next several days. Guess what? It's not going to get any better even after the snow ends. Let's check out those headlines for today. And what's really developing with this big, heavy snow and sleet is a big storm that's going to be followed by bitterly cold temperatures. So up to a quarter inch of freezing rain even possible as some of the sleet tapers off, especially our southern and more warmer counties off on the eastern shore. But then also it's that extended cold weather that Cutter's going to have more on, and those impacts coming up in just a few seconds. Right now, it's 18 degrees downtown. It feels like 11. If you've been outside all day today, it's just been totally miserable, setting up really for us for that big major cold weather event and the big storm that's just knocking on our doorstep. Temperatures across the region, mainly into the mid-range of the teens to upper teens across the area. Annapolis coming in right now at 19 degrees. Here's that big picture for you all the way back from really where we're seeing some of the snow not really reaching the ground yet for us, but all the way back into the middle part of the country, down into the southern plains. In fact, they've switched over now to freezing rain and sleet over in areas of Nashville where they started off as snowfall, somewhat similar to what we're going to experience as we head through the day for tomorrow into the overnight. Now this is 10 o'clock tonight, so about an hour from now or so, then we're going to see that change over into the overnight. Anywhere from 12 to 2 we should start seeing the snowfall. It's going to be heavy at times, and then into the afternoon tomorrow it's going to switch over into some sleet for the most part. That's going to be our biggest switch over. Not so much freezing rain I think in these northern areas as we'll see down in the southern areas, but still we'll watch for the possibility of a glaze of freezing rain as well. We don't want that at all for anybody. That's where you see a majority of your problems. That's where you see your power outages, your trees coming down, your power lines coming down, and a lot of accidents as well. So we're going to watch that very closely. Those snow totals for us, about 7 to 11 inches across this central zone here. The highest totals are up here from north of Frederick all the way up to the mountains, a foot to a foot and a half to 2 feet, and the highest elevations not out of the question with this big storm. Also, if you're headed up into Pennsylvania, they're going to see a lot of snow up there as well. Now, what about these big impacts? Let's send you over now to Cutter Martin as our First Alert weather team coverage continues with this big storm. Cutter.
You know, with snow like that, amounts like that, it may not be record breaking. In fact, it's not going to break any records. This is not even going to be a top 10 storm. What is unique here is that snow and ice is going to be so heavy, the snow, the sleet, and that little bit of freezing rain combined with brutal cold. I think the impact of this storm is what's going to be most memorable, perhaps historic in that sense in some parts of the area, but not the amount that falls. Sunday, travel not advised, stay indoors if at all possible. Monday's still going to be bad, and I was tempted to just put plain old bad on Tuesday, but I will say 5 or 6 days, it's been day after day of pre-treating Baltimore City, many of the counties in the state as a whole, and that certainly will help. But with temperatures as cold as it's going to be and so as heavy as it's going to be as the system moves in, I do think to some extent even treating is going to get a little bit overwhelmed, and at the very least side streets are going to be a no-go on Tuesday, and I think most roads still problematic Monday. And with the type of cold we're seeing, we could see conditions linger, roadway bad conditions linger well on into next week. That's the road travel. Let's talk about flights and greater impacts here. If you know anyone trying to fly to Baltimore over the next maybe 3 to 4 days, snow is going to be gone, but this is the Winter Storm Severity Index put out by the National Weather Service. Basically goes from a scale of minor to extreme. This red shading, that's a major impact. These hues of kind of a purplish color, that's an extreme impact. And this is over the next 3 days. We're talking about DFW, that hub being impacted, Charlotte being impacted, Atlanta being impacted, also into the Ohio airports, Cleveland being impacted, Buffalo, New York City, up to Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, even Chicago, O'Hare and Midway seeing impacts. And of course, with all these cancellations and delays, I think that a lot of carriers are going to be playing catch up here for the next several days. And mind you, we don't get weather really improving that much after this. Sunshine comes back, sure, but we have highs in the upper teens and lower 20s through Wednesday. Thursday, another surge of cold air. And I do think that this forecast might even be just a little bit on the warm side. We're looking at new data coming in quite cold. May have to lower this in the First Alert Super 7-day forecast, especially Wednesday, Thursday. Mornings in some places with the snowpack will be closer to 0. It'll feel like it's colder than 0 and only managing 21. And you notice the snowflakes with that surge of cold air moving in. again, little clipper system, could be some more light snow. Not a lot, not a storm, but more snow on top of what's already on the ground in some areas, especially looking like south of us back towards the Potomac River. We try to hit 30 Saturday, but still below freezing. This could go down as one of the longest periods below freezing weather, frigid weather here in Baltimore. So again, the storm itself may not be historic, but the impacts are, and the cold behind it certainly is. Bryant.